Story this morning comes from India, which has now entered the Unlock 4.0 phase of easing restrictions. Now, after more than 4 months of a halt, the metro rail services have resumed today. The services will operate in 2 shifts, from 7 in the morning to 11 in the morning and 4 in the evening to 8 p.m. of the same day. The metro rail services were paused on March 22nd. However, the resumption of metro transportation services will now take place in a graded or a phased manner. Academic conventions, sports, cultural and religious congregations will also be allowed to organize outdoor activities starting September 21st. There will also be a limit of 100 persons in these gatherings, where the use of protective gear, face masks and social distancing will be made mandatory. The Ministry of Union, Housing and Urban Affairs also called a meeting of all the managing directors of the metro rail corporations to give out the standard operating procedures or guidelines for the metro services to operate during the coronavirus outbreak. The average stoppage time at metro stations will now be longer, but the metro train will not stop at all stations. Metro corporations will be issuing contactless ticketing to limit the spread of the virus. Platforms have also been marked for distancing and for the safety of all passengers. The guidelines further added that there shall be no restrictions on interstate and intrastate travel across the country anymore. Travellers would also not require any separate approval or e-permit from states to move around the country. And states and union territories have also been directed not to impose any local lockdowns outside the containment zones, that is, the zones that are impacted the most from the coronavirus outbreak, without any prior consultation with the central government. Now, meanwhile, schools and colleges will continue to be closed till the end of this month. States and union territories will also be allowed to make their own assessment to permit up to 50% of teaching and non-teaching staff to go to schools to gradually kickstart operations in the education sector. However, this rule shall be applied only in areas that are outside of containment zones within the country. Containment zones shall be demarcated by the district authorities at the micro level. The health officials will also take into consideration the guidelines coming from the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare with the objective of limiting the chain of transmission of this disease. Strict lockdown measures will continue to be in place in all containment zones, and in those zones only essential activities will be allowed till September 30th. Senior citizens, that is people above the age of 65 years, or any people suffering from any kind of comorbidities, pregnant women as well as children below the age of 10 years are advised to stay at home except when they need to step out for essential requirements.